Hi YouTube, it's me, Sammy. I guess I'm doing this to inform my friends in the US what's happening here in Australia at the moment, because I don't think that really anything's been said to you in your media anyway. 2 weeks ago we had an election in Australia and we still don't have a Prime Minister and nothing's changed. Everything's still the same. The Australian dollar's sitting stable. Interest rates aren't rising. Everything's flat across the middle. Which, hey, keeping the status quo is pretty cool with me. I'm happy with my life here. And it looks, when I said what's happened is we have a hung parliament. We have a two-parliament system, and both of the major parties had 73 seats each. Now, there are 4 independents that are currently being wooed by the two major parties, and there's also a Green who was elected. Now, the Green automatically goes, well, historically, I should say. Historically, the Greens side with Labor. And most of the independents are actually in Queensland. In fact, I think all except for the Green are in Queensland. They're holding the cards. One in Tasmania. Now, one of the things that Liberal have been talking about that's been a big part of their election promises is a mining tax. Currently, the mining companies are paying $1 in 7 in tax. 1 in 7. I pay about 30% on my income tax. Okay, and I have to work hard for it. It's not money on top of my working money that I make. It's as soon as I work hard for that money, I pay tax on it. Now, the 1 in 7% is the proposition of going to 1 in 3, I think, which is what I pay basically, 30%. No, sorry, they want to take it to I think 1 in 5. So that's still only 25%, and that's on their profit. I pay 30% on my income before I make any profit on it. Heaven help that I might make some bloody interest or profit on it, because then I have to pay tax on that as well. And then, if I decide to go and spend that money, like on food and water and power, I pay another 10% general sales tax. So, to me, when these big mining companies are making money by tearing up our country, I think they should pay as much tax as I do. According to Wikipedia, income tax in Australia is the most important revenue stream within the taxation system in Australia. What the? Let's face it, we all know that the next generation is going to be old longer. They're not going to be working as much. How are we going to rely on the Australian taxpayers who are diminishing in population? How do we expect to rely on them for the income for this country? Now, the average full-time earning in Australia this year, according to the Bureau of Statistics, because I went and checked this out, was $64,641. Now, that's average. I can tell you now, not many people I know are making. I know maybe a handful of people that make that sort of money. And the average Australian home mortgage is 4.06 times that income. Okay, so in my opinion, the average Australian would have an income between $40,000 and $60,000. And they pay 4 times that for a home. But Australia's best paid workers are miners. And their average earning, is $103,111 a year. So almost double the average earnings of every other Australian. Why shouldn't these guys pay as much as us in tax? I'm not saying that the workers are, but obviously if they're making that much money, that the miners are the best paid workers in Australia, they're making a hell of a lot of money. The other thing that they'll be bringing in is a carbon tax. I'm sorry, I don't have a problem with it. Of the countries I've been to, Australia is one of the cleanest countries. I would say the only one that would compare would be Canada. And I want to keep it that way. We've got beautiful beaches. Let's keep them that way. I can't see why these big companies who are polluting the environment shouldn't pay. Maybe this will encourage them to use other methods that don't pollute the environment. Using solar power, using recycled water. Let's work smarter towards keeping our environment clean. And if you can't, then you pay for the research to try and change that situation. Anyway, that's just my spiel on Australian politics. Oh God, I've probably gone so long and it's probably so boring. Look, all I'm saying is, what is wrong with companies paying for using our resources? What is wrong with companies paying to clean up their act? What is wrong with manufacturing in our country? I know I'm guilty of buying cheap imports. Christ, you can't even buy Vegemite's not even Australian owned anymore. Speaking of which, I'm going to get something. I'm going to show you. Hold on, I'll be back in just a sec. Made in Australia. Instead of Vegemite, I want to promote this product. It's called Mighty Mite, made by the 3 Threes. It is exactly like Vegemite. Made in Australia. Owned by an Australian company. Keep the money at home, says I, who just is going to go and cash some money over to American dollars while the exchange rate is still good. I love it. It's great. You won't be seeing me with Vegemite anymore now that I've found an Australian replacement. Here we go. I'm not being paid to promote this, but it does serve my purpose to promote Australian products. So anyway, that's enough politics for now. I would love to see Julia Gillard become the first elected female Prime Minister purely on the fact that it's about fucking time. And let's hope things work out soon. But really, nothing's wrong. The system seems to be running itself okay at the moment.